What is one of the craziest things your child has asked you as it pertains to your co parent? Well, for me, mine asked, why did I decide to have a child with his dad? And y'all, I was not ready for that question. Um, I didn't even know that he thought that way, like that question could even be strung in his mind. But the truth is, like, children observe everything they see. They understand when our body language shifts, when our attitude shifts. They're watching, they're listening to how we communicate, our tone, everything. And while I have done my best not to ever argue with his dad in his presence or talk bad about his dad to him, I don't believe that is necessary. There are times where I would just become so frustrated because I don't believe that as a parent, I need to ask you to do something for your child. I don't think that it is true parenting when you only show up for things that benefit you or make you look good. I am not a parent that sees different stages as moments where I either show up or don't show up. And because my son has observed so many of these things, he has come to conclusions of his own where I've not had to say anything. And that's where that question came from. And when he asked, answered him. I answered him and I said, honestly, it was a decision. I chose to have a child with him. When I met your dad, I explained to him, certain things as far as where I was in life. I had always been a person that planned everything, and I still plan, y'all, because listen, what is life without some sort of plan? But at 25, I didn't really understand too much of anything. But at that point in my life, I was definitely on a path towards like growing and understanding more of who I was when I met him. And because I was always a person that liked to just have control or those types of things, friends at that time were like, just flow with it and see what happens. And well, one thing happened, led to another, which led us to really have a conversation. We really had a conversation about like having a child together. And I don't even want to say in my defense, but in my naivety and in my people pleasing tendencies. And we're going to talk about that in another video. But in my people pleasing tendencies, I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's just go with the flow and see what happens, y'all. I did ridiculous things within the course of that relationship. But ultimately, we came to a conclusion together. Yes, we were going to have a child. And then when it happened and everything changed, and I was like, wait, what? It started to click. And I'm a firm believer that we go through life and it's either going to cause us to grow or it's going to cause us to dip and stay low. I chose to make the conscious decision to feel what I needed to feel, but honestly, that relationship caused me to grow. It caused me to heal. It was it was a necessary pit stop, and I don't want to get churchy too much, but I am a believer, y'all. Y'all know if y'all follow this channel that we deal with faith and psychology. We merge them together because the Bible is always proving science. And God has so much to say in his word about life and living and being godly and so many other things. And at the time that I was in that relationship, I was not really rocking with God like that. Like, I was a church kid. I grew up in the church, but I definitely made a decision to say, you know what, this is not for me. And he gives us free will. That is the beauty of who God is. He's not forcing us to serve him. Would it be amazing? Absolutely. Is it amazing? Absolutely. But in that conscious decision, though, of having a child with his father and replaying some of the things that he said to me, it became apparent that, yeah, y'all know that phrase where it say daddy's maybes, daddy maybes, mommy's babies, or something like that. I was rejecting that thing so hard because I'm like, absolutely not. We had this child together. You are responsible for this child just like I am. But I started to see that his idea of responsibility was not the same as mine. And it continued over the years. I used to try to like force, like, hey, like, when are you going to see your son? What is the schedule going to be like? You should probably do it like this. I tried to help him for so long till when I realized, actually, that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to show up as a mother. Your responsibility is to heal. Your responsibility is to be aware. Like, you have a responsibility, and trying to force him to father is not your responsibility. And it was in that reflection and through that reflection that I was really able to answer my son with that sober decision of, or the sober question rather, if it was a decision that I made. You were intentional. You were not an accident. It wasn't just a good time. No, you were intentional. And not only were you intentional by us, but you were intentional by God. Two things that I say all the time concerning my children. My oldest son, he caused me to grow up and see things differently. My youngest son pushed purpose into me. I used to say out of me, y'all, but now I'm realizing that he helped push purpose into me because for a long time, I didn't know exactly what it was that I was supposed to do, but he was the seed that God needed to get through me into the earth to show me what this is what I called you to do, not be a mother per se, but to help families, to help those that struggle with difficult co-parenting relationships, to help family members that struggle with being black sheeps of the families, to help those that don't want to do things the same way, not do things the same way, and be okay with sometimes having no contact with certain family members because you're choosing not to participate in the dysfunction any longer. And y'all, I can for sure say that is how my life has been. That is how I am living. I'm choosing to disrupt systems that do not serve me, that are not systems that were created by God, and are not going to serve the family, the legacy that is coming from me. Is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yes. And I'm so excited to continue to do that even now. And so, parents, when your child or children ask you a question where you're just like, what? Where did that come from? Lean into that curiosity, like real hard. Like, lean into that thing. And if you've never reflected on it, use that time to reflect on that question and don't just shy it away and swat it away and dismiss them, but really, really allow for yourself to feel the freedom in that question. Because when he asked me that question, there was a freedom there, because sometimes as parents, we're looking to shield them and protect their innocence in certain capacities, and that's absolutely our job. Don't get me wrong, it is. But there are some things where I believe if they're asking the question, they're ready for the answer, and we just have to figure out how to give the answer in a way that is going to be age appropriate but also honor the truth of the moment. And so, yeah, let's have more conversation just like this, honest conversation. Honestly, you all, this what this channel is about, really helping families to disrupt the cycles that are unhealthy, and really see who God has created them to be. I don't believe nothing happens by coincidence or chance. It is a purpose for all things, but it becomes our responsibility to search out what that purpose is. So if this conversation was beneficial for you and you're like, yeah, I need more of this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we're going to continue to go up. I have a few things that I'm going to be rolling out for us, for family, for building legacy, for handling challenging co parenting situations. So, guys, keep a lookout for that. But for now, I just want to make sure that you know that on these interwebs, there is someone, I am that someone that is willing to share her story with you all, bring you into certain parts of the journey that I'm on now, so that way you can see, literally, the scripture says, with God, all things are possible. I am witnessing that. I am choosing to believe that. And I know that there is nothing that I am going to lack, my children are going to lack, you are going to lack, as you begin to trust God and just see Him in every fabric of your story. So, again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we're going to be back for some more conversation.